I'm getting ready today about 4 o'clock to leave here. I got to go back to Sacramento and pick up my truck. I've been away. I had to leave my truck and abandon it out there in California 2 weeks ago. Today is exactly 2 weeks. I had went to the dermatologist about 3 weeks ago, and there was a little mole on my arm over here, right here. It's no longer there. And she said it was melanoma. I was like, what? So just out of the blue, just like that, I go to a regular screening to the dermatologist. 4 days later, she calls me back, tells me the mole they removed came back positive for melanoma. 2 days after that, I get a call from a specialist, their secretary, scheduling lady. She says, oh, come on in Thursday and we can take a look at it. I said, can you make it for the next week, which would have been last week sometime? And she said, no, we don't have anything available until the end of October. And it was the first week of September. So I had to leave my truck at the truck stop, catch a flight, fly home. I got home the next day, had Wednesday off. Thursday I went to the specialist. He looked at it, told me what his plan was to do. He said, we want to remove the mole in a larger area to scan, the perimeters. You need to have clean perimeters to make sure that it's not really... I didn't know what the process was. I mean, the whole thing kind of freaked me out. It didn't even really process until really about I started waking up from surgery, and 2 or 3 days later. Because not only did they remove that, but under my arm, under here, they removed a lymph node. They said they wanted to test the lymph node to make sure that there was no melanoma in the lymph node regions. Well, luckily, everything came back. The skin area that they got was clear of melanoma, and the lymph node was clear of melanoma. So now, I'm short a lymph node under the armpit. You've got like 35 of them. I didn't want him to take it out. I asked him, I said, is there anything you can do? Is this standard procedure? Is bird up there, right there, sure is loud. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I mean, I was out there in Sacramento. I made a decent paying load going to Houston from here. Then I made a good paying load. I think I made like $6,600 to go from here out to Sacramento. But now I'm looking at loads for tomorrow out of Sacramento. And I mean, look at this crap. Hit edit search. Search loads. Coming out of Sacramento tomorrow. Let's see, I'm going to search for today. Let me edit this thing. Edit search. Yeah, that is today. Today and tomorrow. I'm going to do all the way through Thursday and hit search. Okay, within 150 miles of Sacramento. Let's see, there's only 48 loads for the next today, tomorrow, and Thursday. There's not too bad of a load here, picking up Thursday, going to North Dakota, paying 33. It's only $2.21 a mile. Let's see when I click on it what it says about it. See? It's not even really where it needs to be at. I really need to make, for me to make a good profit on the loads that I do, I need to be at least a decent profit is about $2.35 a mile. And that's where I try to be at the very minimal of any load that I do. So here's a load picking up in San Francisco, 100 miles away from Sacramento, and it's going to North Dakota. See, then they want the thing tarped. Look at there. It's got to be tarped. And they're only wanting to pay $2.21 a mile. There's no way I would do that. That needs to be at least $3,600 just for the load itself, and then give me another $200 or $300 on top of that for tarping. And I'm only going to tarp it if it's crated material. I'm not tarping no open machinery I'm just not going to do it. Here's a load here going down to Oxnard, California for $2.20 a mile. It's picking up only 15 miles away. You know, that one might be a little bit better, but you know, it's still 400 miles. That load right there still needs to be around $1,200. Here's a load going to Arizona for 17. That one needs to be at least 25 to 22, somewhere in that range. Napa, California, there's a bunch of, so they list these things the same. Let's see, King of Freight. Yes, they like it there. Napa, California to Scottsdale. Then they got it listed again from Napa, California to Goodyear. Both of it's 42,000 pounds. They just list it picking up in the same town, and then they list it going to 2 nearby towns. And it's always the same load. They always love to do that. Pittsburgh, California to Southgate, California. See, now we're down to $1.89 a mile, $700. When you take my average cost of operation for a 13-year period and you break it down to how many days I operated per year, it comes out to about $600 a day with fuel. And my average length of haul is about 425 miles on the average day. There's a lot of days where I'm running 650 to 700 miles a day, and there's a lot of days where sometimes I don't get but a couple hundred miles in a day. But it seems my average length of haul is about 425 miles a day. This load here going to Southgate is 371. And my average cost of operation is about $650, $680. So if I did that load for $700, there's no money in it for me. All I've done is covered my operational costs for the day and ain't made a dime. So a load like that should pay at least $1,000 at the very minimal. That would give me about $300 to me for the day. And you're talking 371 miles in California where the speed limits are 55. You've got traffic. You've got to plan the load. You've got to drive over there, pick the thing up, chain it down, strap it, drive it to the destination. So a load like that's going to take 8 to 10 hours. 8 hours almost just to drive it. A good 7.5 to 8 hours to drive it. And then, like I said, loading it and securing it, you're looking at another hour, hour and a half. So here's a load going to Oklahoma City for $1.59. That's garbage. And look at, they got the same thing listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Now here's a load here going from Red Bluff, California to Springfield, Missouri, $1.59. The other thing is my average cost of operation is about $1.65 a mile on all miles that I've driven, loaded and empty. So if you count the loaded, so this right here where it says $1.59 right here for the Springfield, Missouri, that's $1.59 loaded. And it says it's 2013 miles. Loaded won't be no 2013. It'll be somewhere closer to like 2040. You're always going to be under what they actually say it is. Then on top of it, I've got a deadhead 2 hours to go get the thing, 131 miles away from me. So now you're looking at 2 hours to go get it, plus another hour and a half, 2 hours secured it and loading it up. And then let's see what it even says about it. So look at that. Even in the things that I set here, it says the average cost, the approximate profit is $1,354 under what it would cost me to operate. Now it only gives me that because I've set up a calculator and I've tweaked it out a little bit to almost match my numbers. But yeah, so that just lets me know right off the bat. I mean, I don't even need that to tell me. I know for going 2,000 miles that load needs to pay about $4,800, and they got it for $3,200. Says no tarp. And how heavy is it? $38,000 pounds. They don't say what it is. See, like right here, here's a load right here, picking up in Sacramento, going to Orlando, Florida, $1.56 a mile. If I was going to do anything, I would do that, but that would only be because it would be getting me back to the southeast, close to the house. But I don't really want to go to Florida because you won't get nothing out of Florida. So now you're at $1.56 a mile. That is picking up in the same town that I'm already in. It's going to Orlando, Florida. They're paying $4,500. So already it's costing me on average 10 cents a mile to move that load out of my pocket. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend $4,500 to move that load that particular day or that particular round. But in about 2 more months, 3 more months, I gotta put some new drive tires on my truck. You're talking $6,000 and tires, 1 pop. In January, I gotta renew my tags, talking $2,000 for tags. Every month, insurance. Every couple months, you're talking $400 or $500 for an oil change, truck washes, food on the road. You know, all those things has got to come out. And there's just not any money in these loads. You're not making any money. Here's a load going to Nashville, Tennessee for $1.31 a mile from Valencia, California to Nashville. Every one of these loads are just crap. I don't even know how I got on the subject. But I don't even think I'm going to make any money tomorrow. It's just, not only do I got the anxiety from all of this right here going on, but now I'm trying to make money and pay my bills with the brokers. And these are brokers. This has nothing to do with anything but just, well, I don't know. In my opinion, the brokers are just keeping way too much of the money. I get emails sometimes from brokers. I don't even know, man. The whole thing really ticks me off. Let's look at an email that I've probably gotten here. I'm gonna go into here, right here. Picks up in Savannah, Georgia, 3 drops. Salem, Virginia, Mechanicsville, Virginia, Feeton, Delaware. It's Caterpillars, mini skids. Let me know if you have anybody around that wants to grab this. Thanks. Now, I've done this load before because it came in on the email. I could probably get a decent load money out of that. It would be, I don't like going to Virginia, Delaware. Let's see, goes to Salem, Mechanicsville, and then Delaware. I really just don't want to go up in that area. For me, that load right there, I'd have to run the miles. Oh, it says 816 miles on there. But for me, going up into the northeast like that, 816... 24, I swear I'd hit them up for at least $3,000. $3,000 on a load like that. You got tolls. You know, you get up into Pennsylvania and the GW bridge is $125 to cross it. To go under the tunnel in Baltimore, it's $45. You got another bridge that crosses over from into Delaware, you're talking another $45. Then you're in that area. And then a lot of times the freight in that area is depressed. You can't get a good rate out. So now not only can you get a good rate out of there, but even to get out, you got to often pay tolls or go down a route that's got a lot of tolls on it. And I know truck drivers go, oh, you're an idiot, you pay tolls. You can always go around them. You can. But sometimes you're adding. For example, there's a cheaper route to get into New York instead of going up 95 and across the GW Bridge. You can go up around the Tappan Zee Bridge for $45. Save yourself about $50. But you're going an extra 50 miles out of your way. You know, it costs me on average, like I said, $1.65 a mile to run my truck. You add another 50 miles to your route at $1.65, you're better off to pay the toll sometimes. This is what I don't, you know. And then not only that, you're giving away another hour of your driving time. Anyway. So anyway, I'll be back in Sacramento tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how it turns out.